Hello, and welcome to the Dream Discover Do podcast. My name is Kaden Nelson, and I'm with the marketing department of the Shreve Memorial Library, and today I am with...
Hi, my name is Elijah, and I work at the Broadmoor branch of the Shreve Memorial Library, and I work in our circulation department.
Hi, I'm Salem from the Cedar Grove Len Avenue branch, and I'm in the youth services area.
What's going on? I'm Edwin Sherman. I'm from the Moortown branch, and I'm in the youth services department.
And we are getting close to the end of the summer reading program, but I would like to see if there were any last-minute events coming up or anything after summer reading that y'all would like to promote at y'all's branches.
Yeah, so at Broadmoor, we have a really cool escape room we have going on now into next month. It's called Escape the Elements, so if you and a group of friends want to come try to get out of our escape room, come book a slot with the Information Services Department. It's going to be a lot of fun.
At the Cedar Grove branch, we have a few summer reading programs that are going to happen at the end of July, like ceramics painting with the Clayground and the DAT Does the Trick Magic Show. And next month, we should have our elementary fun program, which is like a science program for elementary aged kids, and that happens every first Thursday of the month.
And at the Moortown branch, every Monday and Wednesday, we have game day from 3 to 4. We also have theater classes on Wednesday around 4:30 to 6 o'clock on Wednesday. And this Friday, we have a group called TMM Project, which will be having a great presentation on Friday. And in August, on August 4th, we will end the summer reading program by having a big summer bash for all the kids that read their books this summer. So y'all come on and have fun with us.
Very nice. And have y'all had like a favorite Color Our World program that y'all helped with or seen during these last couple months?
Yeah, Steve Snaketuary at the Broadmoor branch was like super cool. They had that meeting room jam-packed full of people. Kids came.
I'm sure.
Yeah, no, he was a great turnout. And I like his approach to it. He's very much trying to educate on what can be a really scary animal to some people and just kind of highlighting like they're not that scary, they're actually pretty cool. And so the educational aspect of that was really fun to see, and the kids just absolutely loved it. So that was really, really cool.
That's really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think my favorite program so far, I did our elementary fun for this month, July, was elementary fun Color Quest, where we made clouds in a cup by like taking a clear plastic cup, filling it with water, putting shaving cream on top, and then taking like an eyedropper full of watered down paint, and they could see like how rain goes like through clouds, and it was really cool, and like got like super messy and colorful, and it was a blast. But
cool.
Yeah.
I would say there's been several programs. First thing that comes to mind, of course, y'all know I love food. There was a big sushi roll event that we had.
Ooh,
Yeah,
really?
I saw
We
that.
had a sushi roll event, and I was never really a sushi person, but now I think my taste has changed.
You've
That's
been
awesome.
converted.
I've been converted to the realm of sushi land. And I will also say Miss Tarpley, she had a writing program.
Yes.
And it's always good because it's one of those things that gets rid of writer's block because we're all collaborating and we're all contributing to a story. So that would have to be one of my favorites. Plus, an outreach program that I did at Morningstar. We had a craft. We made some jellyfish. I said, well, during the summertime, let's go and make some jellyfish.
How'd you do that?
So what we did, I got one of those little colorful small little plates, and we got the scissors. I can't think of the name of them. They already crinkly. They already get
Like the
like
shape,
the scrapbook
yeah.
scissors.
scrapbook scissors. So we did that. Got a couple of hole punchers, and we punched probably maybe 4 or 5 holes, and we used our favorite little what's the
Pipe cleaners.
Pipe cleaners,
Yeah.
little furry pipe cleaners, and put those suckers right into the hole, tied them up to get some glue sticks, and get the little googly eyes on there. And boom, bam, boom. You
That
got
is so
jellyfish.
cool.
So cute.
And then you can always add on to it like big ocean background or something like that.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's just one of the many things about the summer. A very, very eventful summer.
What about you?
Let's see. I've been to quite a few taking pictures. one that like was actually really nice was was Karen LeBeau.
Oh, yeah.
We did like these little like Mandela. I think that's how you say it. Like
Yeah.
just it was sort of like a Zen meditation while coloring this little
That's so cool.
mandala.
Yeah.
And I went there to like take pictures of it, but I ended up like just staying and coloring my own too because I was like, this is very peaceful.
That's
and
really
like,
awesome.
I actually really needed this
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Cool.
So that was very fun.
That's awesome.
And on this subject of color our world and all these like creative things we've been doing with this program, that brings us to our topic today, which is exactly that, like what creativity or color our world means to us, because that phrase is like very
It's open to interpretation.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think we've been seeing that over like this summer is just how unique and like different all these kids are, and like what this phrase can mean to them, and what creativity can like mean to them and the people around them. So I wanted to see like what y'all kind of thought of color our world or creativity just in general.
Yeah, I mean, it was, like you said, even with just, like, our programming that we've done, I mean, there's such a wide array of things
Yeah.
they've offered. I mean, from Steve's Sanctuary to the writing
food and
exercise.
stuff,
Yeah, the
yeah.
food. Like, we have the colorful soups where,
Yeah, that's right.
that's coming up soon, where, like, you can learn how to make these, like, cold summer soups. And so, like you said, it's just really cool to see all the different interpretations of, like, what coloring your world means. And you can just really just enrich your life with like learning new things, going out there, seeing something that might interest you. And, so that was really cool to see as a whole. Yeah. This summer.
I think something that's been really cool to see is like all the different cultures within the very colorful community of the Shreveport Bossier area. Has been so incredible, and you can really see that in the books that our wonderful acquisitions department gets us. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, it's been really cool to see like all the different types of people and like learning from each other and
Different points of view, different
Yes.
artistic styles,
Yeah.
different ways of learning, just different generations from learning from old and young,
Yes.
and I would say just so many different ways you could just consume information or just
Yeah.
learn. Just for whether it's like say from food. I didn't even know like color our world when you think about like when they brought the sushi event over to our branch. I'm like, wait a minute, what are they bringing the sushi event? This is kind of random, but then you're educated on the history of it. And,
Yeah.
Right.
And the presenter told me her story on how she got into sushi rolling, and now I'm a sushi fan. So and that's the thing now. Like this morning, I'm thinking about sushi. I know that might be a lunch item, but just from that and just from writing and different painting, poetry, as you mentioned earlier.
different types of art forms. Yeah.
Exactly. And so it's it just with color our world is so infinite. It ever grows. It's an ever growing experience. So coloring our world becomes universal, and it just keeps on growing. You can't stop it.
It's been really great to see all the like specifically from the kids' point of views, like all the ways that they're learning that they can like express themselves, and we're giving them like these extra creative outlets that some kids like they don't have access to that.
That's right.
Right.
And that's been really awesome. Like yesterday we did a story time about artists, and we had a little one of those cardboard standees, and I covered it in butcher paper, and we like drew all over it, and she came in at first, and I think at the beginning of the story time she was like, yeah, like I really want to be an artist, and I was like, well, today like you get to be, like you are an artist, and it was really cool to like, do you see her like get to draw all these different things, and yeah, it was
Right.
really cool.
And it's just fun to see, like, even with kids, like how easily they can latch onto something too and
Yes.
just like take off with
Yeah.
it.
That's right.
And I think it's Bob Ross that says, like, one of my favorite quotes ever, like, talent is a pursued interest. And, like, creativity is also, like, a pursued interest. Like,
right.
you know, some people will say, like, well, I just don't have the talent to do that. Or I could never go out there and draw the things that Vincent van Gogh was doing. And it's like, no, you can. Like,
Yeah.
just, it might start small. Like you said, it might just be you coloring on butcher paper one day. And then
right.
years down the line, you have your art in an art museum just like he does. So it's
Yeah.
like,
No one starts off as Leonardo da Vinci.
yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's just so cool to see, like you said, the many different ways they could just be introduced to something,
Yeah.
and then that could be something they really latch onto and really take off with. And like you said, they can just enrich and color their world through that one thing, or like even multiple things. So yeah, it's been really fun to see.
Very nice. And like, so I know all of us here kind of, are in some way, shape, or form very creative people, which is why I think we all kind of like get along.
Yeah.
Like Edwin, he's a actor, writer, etc., etc. You said you were like a poet.
Yeah, and like me and Edwin are kind of like, I want to get into acting. It's just kind of like the avenue can be a little hard to get into.
Yeah, especially like
Yeah, so
not around Hollywood or whatever.
right.
Yeah.
And Shreveport Bossier is growing. I'm sure you
Yeah.
know
It's
Edwin.
growing.
Yeah,
The creative scene here in the area is really growing. Outside of what G Unit is planning on doing, we already have a strong core. We already have a strong root of great talented artists, filmmakers, singers, dancers, writers, producers, performers, everything.
Yeah.
Artists, whether it's poetry, whether it is sculptures, digital media, we already have a strong foundation of that. So with an outside force coming in, it only adds on to it. And then the library itself is a force within itself
Oh, yes.
creatively.
Right.
Because a lot of the creatives get their start here in the library, not just in staff, but more so just patron.
And also like connecting with each other.
Connecting with each
Yeah.
other. It's the library is the perfect place for connecting with fellow artists and then getting something together. Because I'll tell you, one of my first short films was here in the library. So, hey, for all the creatives out there, come to Shreve Memorial. This is where the Dream Discover do. This is where you get your big start at.
right.
I've talked to like a few new college students recently, or like kids that are going into college, and they're like, yeah, like I'm trying to figure out like how to, or like I'm trying to look for books that are like, hey, here's how to make friends when you're not in class with them every single day. And I'm like, yeah, like it's definitely difficult to navigate how to make friends again as an adult, but I think things like this, like finding a community hotspot,
Yes.
where you can go to different types of meetings, and like it's free. You don't have to sign up for anything. You don't, I mean, other than a library card, but well, not necessarily. Anyways, but
Get that library card.
like you can go to test out to see if you want to try sewing, or
Exactly.
there are like Lego nights. There's been D&D nights. If that's something that you want to try, which I highly recommend for everybody because it's one of my favorite things in the world. It's just such an incredible place to meet so many incredible people, and yeah.
Right, and just like, again, just highlighting the wide array of things. Like last night, I met a patron whose mom was doing like a miniatures, like
That's
showing,
incredible.
yeah,
Like,
at
cool.
Art Our Library, and I was like, that's so cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
think that like she makes these little miniatures and she has a place to where she can connect, like you said, with other people who might enjoy that, or
Yeah.
introduce someone to that hobby. So yeah, it's just amazing what
So
we
like,
have to
so
offer.
she like reached out and like offered to put on a program.
I think she, if I remember correctly, she like booked like one of our meeting rooms,
Uh-huh.
and so she kind of, I guess, like has her own little community that was coming.
Yeah.
And her daughter was there like with her, and so she was telling me about it. She's like, "Oh yeah, my mom is
Wow.
doing like her miniatures tonight,"
Oh,
and
cool.
she was trying to, like you said, get more people
Yeah.
to come and like know about it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, like if that's something you want to try to get affiliated with us, like talk to the branch manager. I was like, it's so
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's so cool. So yeah.
Cool.
That's
cool.
amazing.
And then what like creative outlet do you enjoy, Salem? Like, what do you?
Oh,
like
there
to
are
do?
so many things. I have the ADHD, so I collect hobbies like Pokemon. Let's see. Last summer, I taught myself how to knit, and I still have not finished the scarf that I started a year ago.
It's okay. We'll circle back.
We'll circle
That's
back. Let's see. Lately, I've been doing a lot of like Legos stuff. Before that, I was super, super into painting pottery. Like I would just like go to the playground, work on something. If I had a day off while they were open, I would stay there from the time that they opened till the time that they closed, and just so get lost in the colors, and like I could just like turn my brain off, and it was really, really great. So yeah, anything that has to do with creativity, I'm there. I'm in.
And that's so fun. I love doing that too. That's
Yeah.
like one of me and my boyfriend's favorite date nights is to go to like
It's
you
so
said, one of the
nice.
playground.
Yeah.
And then because it's just like you said, it's easy way to just like be creative, have fun, make something, and then they have so many things you can choose from too.
And
so,
the
yeah.
staff is so like they're so kind, and like if there's nothing going on, like I've just sat and talked for hours with the staff about like their interests and like their things, and it's really awesome to like get to know other creatives in the community.
Absolutely.
Very nice. And so for me, I like in like a similar way. I have a lot of hobbies.
Yeah.
Way too many. But like some
Hey,
my
there's no
favorite-
such thing as too many.
That's true. That's true. Unless like you're not doing any of them because you start little projects, never
Okay,
finish.
don't at me. All right?
Well, I mean, I'm just the same way. But like my favorite is like music. And I'm a musician, but I also just love just listening to like music.
Same
And
here.
I would think like a lot about it and be like, what is it about this outlet that really like helps me or connects me with like myself, but also something wider than that, right? And there's this philosopher named Plotinus, and he actually talks about music being like the greatest art form to like connect us with like the divine or the one, as he calls it.
Ooh, that's cool.
But like he thinks creativity is a reflection of the divine or the one, and this one is something that we can never truly reach. It's just like this like
Besides like the pursuit of like getting closer to that.
yeah, and like music is the best way to experience that. And I really think that a lot of that comes from the mystery of creativity, right? Because some people, have a picture or a like idea of what they want to do when they go into it, but even then there's still that mystery of that creative experience of what you're going to learn and get out of it, and just
Yeah.
like that feeling that you get when doing it feels very mysterious.
Yeah.
Right.
And listening
Very
to music,
visceral.
yeah,
Right.
and so like music itself is kind of mysterious because it's just like little noises that all
Yeah.
come together, little notes that come together, and like you can't see it. I mean, you can see notes on but you can't really see it. You just hear it.
Yeah,
And-
and feel it.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the weird part is like you actually can feel these like notes and these vibrations and feel it in a way that's not just like, oh, my body feels it, but like I feel it in like a whole other sort of
Like
mysterious
Yeah.
way.
in your like soul.
Yes.
Yeah.
Music is a very spiritual, soulful
absolutely.
experience. Because I remember there was this commercial. They showed this little bumblebee like years ago flying into a flower, and they changed the soundtrack every single time. And it's like the music sets the tone for creativity, and that's one thing I was going to mention. That's one of the biggest things that sets me off creatively is music. And with music, if I could not imagine a world without music. This all ties into color our world. If we
Yeah.
did not have music, this place would be a billion times more miserable than it already is. So it makes me think about, and raise your hand if you're listening, Fairly Odd Parents, and you had the Pixies, who were like the corporate black and white everything. There was like no color whatsoever. And then you had like the Fairly Odd Parents, who were colorful and they were wacky and they were adventurous. And it's like, if you don't have that color, if you don't have that creativity, that spontaneity, that adventure,
The curiosity.
the curiosity of it, and me being a spiritual person, yet God is the ultimate creator. So we all have this creative gene. We have to just put something out there. We are following his example. So it's like, hey, I want to make this piece of music. I want to create this story. I want to write this story. I want to create this video game. You know, just something that takes us out of where we are now.
Yeah.
And
Right.
and it's all ties into color. Our world is so many ways to color the world, from sight and smell, feel, touch, taste. It's attracting all the senses.
And then even people, like kind of what Kaden was saying, like even people who might have like a disability that would hinder them in one aspect. Like, for example, there have been deaf people that still create music.
Music,
Because, like you
exactly.
said, they can feel like the vibrations.
Yeah.
They can know
Exactly.
what note makes that certain like vibration. Or
That's right.
even people that are
That twang.
Yes, that twang.
Twang,
Or
yeah,
even
yeah,
like
yeah.
people that are blind, they still can create
Yeah.
art. It might be they can picture something differently than we might picture it, having the sight to see it,
That's
but they still can create art, or they can still learn that instrument without just by feel and not being able to see.
it, yeah.
And so it's just cool how like universal creativity can
Yeah.
be. It's very accessible to
Exactly.
a lot of different people, which I think is really awesome. So
Absolutely.
So something that we haven't discussed yet is I told y'all to like bring in one piece of media that like inspired you or kind of helps you, you know, creatively, or kind of helped shape your creative self. Like what's like one piece, or you don't have to just say one, but let's try to keep it at one or two like pieces of media that like really shaped your creative side of you.
I would say for me, I'm a big Taylor Swift fan. One fact about me.
Samesies.
And her Folklore album, like, just was I love music, but I had never experienced listening to an album that I felt like took something from my soul and like put it into music. And that album definitely did that for me. Especially like Hoax, that song speaks to me on a very deep level. And so just hearing that album, it kind of sparked like me wanting to go out and search for like more music that could do that for me, and like more of like that same sound, that same feeling I was searching for. So that would be for music. But a movie that kind of also did that same thing, like I felt really touched me and told me something, and sparked that creativity in me, is there's a movie called I See the TV Glow. And that movie, again, it just, a lot of things about myself were reflected in that movie, and a lot of the messages just deeply resonated with me. Even like quotes from the movie, like, again, touched me so deeply that it made me want to go out and again seek that same thing out, like find more things that also spoke to me in that same way. So those are two things for me.
For me, there are specifically these two movies. They do have books that they're based on, but I'm talking about specifically the movies. The movie Fried Green Tomatoes and The Divine Secrets of the Ya-Ya Sisterhood. They are both like these movies that I can watch on repeat constantly and never get sick of them. Always learn or notice like something new. But my favorite, like, or I guess like the biggest creative spark that I've gotten from both of these movies is like the art of oral storytelling and like knowing your past and like where you come from and stuff like that. And it got me to delve into like genealogy and like talk to my parents and their parents and ask them questions, and that led me to learning about like all these different like crafts people that we had in our family, and learning about their art forms and everything. And it was just really, really cool. So.
For me, I know you mentioned music, and I'm about to go way back here. I'm almost embarrassed because I'm not necessarily embarrassed because I'm an old school fan. I'm a huge old school R&B lover. So there was this album that came out in the late 80s before I was born. My uncle introduced it to me, God rest his soul. The album is called Hearsay from an artist named Alexander O'Neal. And this was one of like the first albums I literally listened from the very beginning to the very end. And the reason why I mentioned this in particular is because when I first heard the album, I could hear the color at the same time. Like literally every song and every track was bringing me to a different color. I'm hearing a lot of
that's
purple.
really cool.
I'm hearing a lot of blue.
That's
I'm hearing
amazing.
a lot of what they call the timbre in music. And I'm hearing that. And it's also a very storytelling album because it was one of the few that actually had a branching storyline. Like it had intros and segments of a soap opera. So you're hearing like these little talking segments, and it goes into a song, and then another song, and another
Like a
song.
concept album.
It's a concept,
Okay,
more like a
cool.
concept album. And so that would be that piece of media that sparks my interest in that. And then I was thinking of a movie, but I was like, no, it's too many movies. Like I can't even pick one. I literally can't, but I could pick a video game. I said I'm gonna do something different. I'll pick a video game, and it would have to be the Drake Uncharted series on PlayStation 3, and that's because. Of course, we've had Indiana Jones in the 80s, Lara Croft in the 90s, and in movies and video games in the 2000s. But when Drake came in, that was like the last big adventurer of our era. And it was so big and huge. And he's got these beautiful maps and this adventure. And you can manipulate the story and make these dangerous choices, as well as think, okay, how do I get out this prism or any location that I'm in? So that would be the second piece of media I would mention.
And Uncharted 4 is part of that series, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember when I got my PlayStation 4, that game automatically came with the PlayStation.
Yes,
And
yes.
that was one of, like you said, one of the first games that like got me into, because like the storytelling is spot on.
Huge storytelling.
Yeah, and then like you said, the map is really pretty, like all the things you can explore. So yeah, that's really cool.
And it's colorful. In games before that, such as like Hitman, which is a very dark game, like very dark, colorful but dark. And then before then, you think about like Metal Gear Solid. That's a very, when I think about that, as far as particular of color, I'm thinking teal or metallic type colors.
Right.
But yet the story is very deep. It's just another way of coloring the world and coloring storytelling.
That's awesome.
I could probably name like 50 different, albums or like
That's
pieces, but probably like the one that really like changed my path, like creatively, but also like personally, what was Joy Division's Unknown Pleasures. Like when I first heard it, what was actually because of Skate 3, funnily enough, because Disorder is like on the game soundtrack. And like I would turn off every single song but that when I was listening to it over and over while playing the game. But then like I kind of forgot about that song for years, and then finally I was like, let me just listen to the album and see if I like it. And I remember listening, like I wish I could listen to that album for the first time again, because like it just brings you into like a world. Like,
yes,
we don't have to talk about all the like mental health and all that the album deals with, but just like the world that the album creates and like the tone and just everything like experimental and yet like personal and free that this album has or like does. Like it just brought me into this world and made me be like, there's so much more out there than just like this little narrow stuff that I've been listening to, like there's so much that I can like do with like music and and even writing, and it kind of changed how I write and also on writing too. I really did not expect to like Homer at all. I was like, everybody reads Homer. They've been reading Homer for forever. I've read, interpretations or remixes on Homer. But then reading the Iliad for my master's program, like, I don't think I reference a, like anything more than Homer's Iliad, because I was just blown away by, like, how he's talking about, like this war, like the Trojan War, and and Achilles and Hector. And at first when I read it, I was like, yeah, it's a good story, but I don't really see how this can relate to me. But then like as I read it again and like read it deeper with some classmates, I was like, this story about war and anger and sadness like relates to everything. Like it relates everything to me like right now in 2024. I mean 2025. Shoot, I forgot the year. Like,
They're going by so quick.
I know. It like relates everything, and it built this world before we even like really had written down stories. Like he was writing this story down from the oral tradition, and I just found that completely fascinating. And now I try to live my life or my creative life like Hector or Achilles, depending on the day, you know. Like, but I just find those super fascinating.
Yeah, and then like you were saying, collaboration on like creativity and like different works is so cool too. Because like you said, you might read it one way and be like, oh, well, I really don't get much out of this. But when you talk about it with someone else and they're like, well, I viewed it in this way, that way, and it kind of changes your perspective and makes you look at it a different way. And it's not like they read anything different than you did, but it's just they got something more out of it than you might have.
And I'm just going to mention this one thing. I know we can't go delve into it because I know it's going to originally be the topic. Like it makes me think of Sinners. And just literally the multiple, like when I had a chance to see it, I'm like, I hear so many other different interpretations. I'm like, I have to see it for myself. And then when I saw it, it's like I have my own interpretation. And that shows you just how coloring, coloring the world and creativity, you can put out that one piece of art. You're going to get so many different interpretations just from that one piece of art.
Which is so amazing, like, in terms of art. Because, like, when you really think about it, everyone's interpretations comes from what their takeaway is based on, like, what they've lived through, their own, like, trauma and whatever they're currently dealing with. And I think that's just really, really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And, bring us back to, like, to creativity as, like, mystery or mystery as creativity. Like, whenever you come together as a community to then, like, unravel what this mystery may mean, like, I think that's when the, power happens as well. Like, you can be creative and read these creative things, listen to it on your own and get a bunch out of it too. But when you're able to come together as a group and really discover these things together, it just brings you to a whole nother like level of creativity and like understanding of yourself and the world around you.
Right, and it gives its own like life to it too, and like its own like meaning, and it can make it so much deeper than it already was, and that's really cool.
Give it its own DNA.
Right, exactly. Its own, like I said, life to it. So yeah.
I think creativity is like a living need that we have to so the like Greeks always talked about like the muses, and like the muses would give you like divine inspiration. Then you would have like a period of like madness or whatever, and then you'd create like this work or like this piece, whether it be whatever it may be.
And all the different types of muses they had, like history and music and whatever.
There wasn't just one muse. There was a bunch of muses, and it's just this need we kind of get from somewhere or within ourselves that we have to express. And by doing so, we should be making the world better as well in that process. And I think that's what's good about our world programs, because we're kind of showing that to especially kids, that like when you come together as a group to understand or create something, like you're really bonding and coming together as a group, and
because
as a
everyone
community.
can add something differently.
Exactly. And that's what's very important and necessary now, is like we have to come together and all add our little piece into this crazy world and figure it out together.
Right, because like you said, community right now is so important, and like finding a safe place for you to unwind, delve into something new. It's just, it's very imperative.
And having a third place as well, like.
Yeah, because they're dwindling.
Yeah.
Down. So That's why you need to come to the library, guys.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic
Come hang out at the
place.
library. Bring your friends.
The
you
library
can book a
is
study
an essential.
room.
And we have book clubs as well. So if you
Yeah.
wanted to participate in, like, talking about works of art and books, like we got many places for that, many different.
Yeah, I think
sort of
every branch has their own or something like
about,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then different genres too. So like
Yeah.
there's like fiction, mystery, science fiction. So it's like whatever you like to read, there's definitely a book club for it.
Yeah, the one we have here, I believe what I remember being told is, what is it? It's the Red River Readers Book Club. And the lady that ran it, she was always trying to find something like to get readers out of their comfort zones, genre speaking. Like they've like dabbled in westerns and sci-fi and even YA, and maybe it's not for everyone, but like you're willing to try, and like you're just testing it out and seeing how you like it. And I think that's really, really awesome.
Yeah. And were you gonna add anything, Edwin?
Just as far as book clubs, I know at the Moortown branch we have a Not Your Mother's Book Club. I'm not over that. Shout out to Peggy, she is over it, and they enjoy. We hear them talk about the stories and book clubs. I'm almost so tempted to go in there. I'm like, let's see what y'all talking about. I'm gonna join in next time. But yeah, I do want to add, as far as with the library, it is an essential place. Society, you got to put some respect on the library's name, because you can do so much here. You can really kick off your business here. You can study here. You can create here. You can do so much, from just having your first tester audience here at the library, getting the perfect critique here at the library. And guess how much it costs? $0, people. In this land of inflation, $0. So come on over to the library, get educated, be entertained, socialize. Come over to particularly Shreve Memorial Library.
And one last thing that I think we should maybe talk about, because we are running out of time, unfortunately. But creativity also isn't just art, and I think a lot of people don't get that either. And we haven't really touched on that yet. Is like there's creativity in like almost everything, right?
Yeah.
Like everything you do, whether it's being like a mom or dad, or even driving your car, you kind of have to like creatively problem solve if somebody tries to swerve in front of you. Like there's so many ways that you can, maybe not like a way of expressing yourself, but it's a way of living in the world that you kind of need this creativity in order to problem solve. And I think that it's very important that we do build that early on, that we are trying to do at the library.
Yeah.
Right.
To build off of that, like a book that we read yesterday in my story time was called The Curious Why. I don't remember the author's name, but it was basically like, hey, like, okay, sometimes you have to be bored and you let your mind wander. And when you're bored and you start to, just look at things and really think about things, you start asking questions, and that's where like curiosity comes into play, and that is ultimately, I think, what feeds creativity. Is like, and this is something that ML Tarpley was saying in her workshop, is like every story, every video game, it all came from a what if question. Like
That's right.
Harry Potter with the what if a boy had wizard powers and he didn't know? And
Well, I think that is it for our time. But if there's any last remarks you would like to say about your branch, remind people of anything, now's your chance. If y'all have anything to add.
Well, at the Moortown branch, August 4th, be sure to stop by, because we are ending off the summer reading program with a bang. We're going to have a big get-together. We're going to have basically have some little treats, little trinkets, have a big old game day, and just celebrate all the books that we have read together.
That's awesome.
Come over to the Moortown branch. We'll have some fun.
That sounds so much fun.
Yeah, y'all come on.
And then I just want to highlight again our escape room. Our information services department has worked really, really hard on putting this escape room together. It's a lot of fun. Again, it kind of gets your mind working. So just come in, bring your friends, book a slot. You have an hour, If you don't finish it, you can come back and try again, but it's really, really cool, and I just want everyone to come see it.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, and we're doing it, it started yesterday, and then it's going to be through the end of this month and into August a little bit, so come on down and see what that's about.
That's excellent. Here at Cedar Grove, the last Monday of every month, we have Cozy Craft and Cinema. So to touch on what we were saying about getting out in the community and meeting people with like interests, you can bring any kind of little craft that you are working on, a little personal craft. We also do coloring sheets, and I'm going to try and start doing like a little craft every month to go with whatever movie we're watching. This month, July, we are watching Strange World, and next month in August, for our back to school theme, we are going to be watching Matilda. So, and I think we're going to be doing blackout poetry for that one. So join us. It'll be lots of fun. Bring your friends, bring some crafts, and just come have a good time.
Awesome.
And that is all that we have for you today, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Dream discovered too. Shreve Memorial Library and you.